Good evening and welcome to Softball HQ here in lovely South Australia. It's cooling down, but the finals race, it's heating up, but you know, it's a chance here tonight for the Hills Heat, one of our teams, to really put an exclamation mark and try to book their spot in the finals. Hills playing Glenelg, Glenelg bottom, Hills in 4th place and on the verge of making finals in just their first yearly.
It's a fantastic effort, isn't it, Eric? And when the season is over, they'll look back and say, yes, this was a great move to come in to the competition. We're so pleased to have them. Make 7 teams. I know people get the buys and that, but it gives us more people, more exposure, and gives them the opportunity. But they'll miss Georgia Hood tonight, as Glenelg will miss Steph Trzynski, who I believe is in Queensland, in New Zealand pitching.
So those are 2 starting pitchers on both teams that are out. So it's going to be an interesting battle with sort of their backup pitchers coming in there, Kushla Brewster and Emily Hopkins. Emily for the Hills going against each other. The equation's simple, and you can sit back and relax tonight. A win tonight for Hills all but guarantees them a final spot. They would need quite a miraculous collapse to miss it from there. So we'll see if they can do it tonight.
Yes, exactly. And I'm picking a draw tonight, sitting on the fence here. Eric, what about yourself?
I'll go with you. We'll keep it neutral with a draw. So sit back, relax. We'll be with you with lineups in just a second. We've got Belle, who just went and took second. She can't even go back, and she's still going. Now she's going to try to slide into third. And she's saved! She did it. She's done a good job in back-to-back innings. A little bit of trouble on it. She's got out of it, and this is hit up the middle. It's a nice play for 1. Throw over to first, and she got her for 2! And this is hit hard, deep to left field. This is back, and this one is gone!
But she's, I'm telling you, Jenny's not going to let the ball go past.
And she's to do, and here it is, and she's done it. The perfect inning. And this is hit hard. It's towards center. Will this drop? A diving catch!
Tell me you're serious.
That's a great play.
Back a little late. There she goes. That's a long shot to left field. Sophie Hoyle! It's a home run! It's an automatic run for the Glenelg Rebels. We were just talking about her power. We were just talking about her wheelhouse. And into the breeze. Thank you very much, Lee. A home run to Sophie Hoyle. Well, welcome inside Softball HQ again. Eric Ballnar with Lee Hull here. It's going to be an interesting game today. You're having a look at Emily Hopkins, the starting pitcher. She's usually the Wednesday pitcher here for the Hills. Georgia Hood, normally just here on Saturdays. I'll tell you what, though, Hills, they need a win, and then they need a lot to happen wrong if they're going to miss the finals. So a win tonight puts them just on the cusp of the finals. They got a pretty good young team. Pippa Adkins got to be a candidate for Rookie of the Year, but how about you take us through the lineup today for defensively?
I certainly will, Eric, and
Okay.
Good evening everybody out there. So we'll go around the lineup for the Hills Heat. At first base it's Kelly O'Brien. Third base is Danny Perez. Shortstop is Steph Stewart. Kim Cutting takes up the second base position. The outfield is in the green, on the grass that is. Talia La Rosa is back. Pippa Adkins goes from first to centre field. And Georgia Ballard makes up the outfield at right field. And the battery is, as you mentioned, Emily Hopkins. And Amber Hood goes back to catching today when she's been playing shortstop a fair bit.
Yeah, she has, and she's back here. I think Alex Mackey, the loss of her for this game might hurt a little bit, but Glenelg, they've only got 2 wins this season. They've also got a couple draws in there as well. So sometimes they do find form, but they have struggled at times this year. And losing Steph Trzynski today, not going to help either.
It's a big out, isn't it, really? And anybody who has the quality of Steph Trzynski in their side, it's going to be a big out. But they're going to face up to it. And it's a rather cool night here, Eric, unlike some of the heat nights we've had.
Yeah, so the Heat are playing in the cold, and the Glenelg Rebels are looking to play spoiler today and try to crash this Hills party as they're on the verge of that final spot. Regan Lambert, the woman leading it off.
He's played mainly this year at centre field, but I see she's at right field. Last couple of games, I think it is.
And she can be a pretty versatile player. You see her a lot around the softball HQ premises, working pretty hard in the hitting lanes as well. She and her sister Jordan compete against each other, and both pretty high caliber softball players in this state.
I think they would be competing at everything, eating meals, whatever you like.
And her mother, Kathy Lambert, she's been helping a lot with sort of the fitness and the sprinting, the Kathy Lambert School of Sprinting, as you might want to call it, with a lot of the high performance and state team and A-grade girls. And a big swing and a miss right there on Jordan Lambert. Emily Hopkins, she's a good pitcher. She might have occasionally this year sort of that inning or two that she sort of puts up a number, but for the most part she shuts them down. And we'll see, she'll be looking for that today. She gets this just outside. But Emily in her own right, pretty good pitcher.
Yes, and Amber Hood, the catcher, just held her glove there. Long time then, maybe just framing it for the umpire, but didn't change the call.
I mean, you really do need to have two pitchers in this competition to navigate your way through the season. And this is a play over to third, and that's a nice, nifty little play. Danny Perez, I've been really impressed with her lately. She gets us over to Kelly O'Brien for the first out. Now, Lee, before we go to the next one, quick update here. We're through 2 innings on Diamond 1. There's a big clash between West Torrens and Walkerville, the top 2 teams, in a game that will likely decide who wins the minor premiership. West Torrens with 3 key outs today, and Gabby Snyder, who's being sort of the belle of the ball right now in softball, SA, shutting everyone down. 2-0 West Torrens in the second inning.
Oh, is Gabby pitching? Do you
Gabby,
know?
apparently they're going full tilt for a couple key outs on a Wednesday night here, but there you go. Jess Neves, though, the shortstop, she steps into the batter's box. Jess Neves, a pretty versatile player. She's played at Port Adelaide before. She's over at Glenelg now. She helped them get to the grand final last year. Disappointing year this year, I know, but Jess, very good player.
Yes, and she's got a very small, limited strike zone, so she normally takes advantage of that.
And never say Neves, because Neves is on board with a base hit right up the middle. She's doing it for prime time. Look at that, a big hit. And Glenelg have a runner aboard here in the first inning.
And in comes catcher Megan Wheatley. Megan's a quality catcher, young player.
And you got to keep an eye on Jess Neves on first base. She's got a bit of wheels about her. She's a soccer player, so she trains in that running. She's got that short sprint speed from being a dual participant in sport or athlete. But Megan Wheatley, batting third in the lineup, a very reliable catcher in this competition, batting third here.
Definitely go bunt.
Lee calling bunt. Megan Wheatley to the plate, showing bunt, pulls off. Probably a good decision because that was a bit outside the zone and brings up.
So you wouldn't want your batters chasing that.
Well, this is the part of the lineup that can be dangerous. You got Megan Wheatley. She was one of the women that was on that under-19 national championship side, and Sophie Hoyle, who is a Stars player and can swing it with the best of them in the competition.
Yes, exactly. I don't think they'll be taking this catcher's arm on Amber Hood, so I think they need to put the ball on the deck. It's going to be a bunt.
And this is going to be grounded over, and this gets over Danny Perez's head on the bop.
Or not.
There you go. So Jess Neves advances to second, and Megan Williams with a single. Just a funny little bounce here. I'm sure we'll see it on the replay. That just took a bit of a weird spin, and there's not much Danny Perez could do, could she?
No, she couldn't do anything about that. It was bouncing high as well.
Sophie Hoyle, one of the premier third basemen in this competition. She's hit a home run this year on this field, way to left field. Don't know if really has the carry here today, although there is a baseball game going on next to us, and one of the players crushed it on the second pitch of the game over the fence, so would suggest maybe at West Beach the ball is flying a little bit here. Sophie watches this go outside, ball 2, so Emily Hopkins, what do you got to do here? Just got to try to control the strike zone a bit.
Yeah, well, the umpires for this game on plate, it's Mike Bendel, Steve Wallace-Yarrow at first, and Greg Russack is at third.
Hopkins deals on this one, and it's a strike. Sophie Hoyle just lays this one off.
Got to pitch carefully to batters like Hoyle, don't you? Hoyle, Gabby Snyder comes to mind.
Yeah, she's always a year-in, year-out candidate for that all-star team. such a key part of that team last year that got all the way to the championship game. Made a bit of a surprise run, knocked off Walkerville to get there, snuck in the finals, and then beat Seacombe. Then they went in there and they knocked off another side. They had an import pitcher last year, which helped a lot, and that's their defense has let them down a little bit this year too. But Sophie Hoyle takes a walk, and it's bases loaded for the Glenelg Rebels with Caitlin Carroll coming to the plate. They have 2 outs in their pocket. Can they bring the runners home?
Well, they've got a big chance here, and that was Heat would be quite happy with Hoyle getting a base on balls because she gets hold of one. When she's batting, it's going to go.
It's down low. What do we know about Caitlin Carroll?
Caitlin Carroll is like lightning quick player. Needs to get on base to use that leg speed.
So if a ball's down the line, you got to watch out.
Yep.
She swings at that one. That's where she was looking, but a swing and a miss, so it evens up the count 1-1. Lauren Jury will follow up in the lineup here.
Yeah, Caitlin played most of the season at first base, and now she's gone back to
center field,
a normal position at centre field, what I'd call her normal position.
Well, this is just such a big opportunity for Glenelg. You can't leave these opportunities begging here in the first inning. At the top of the first, good way to get out of the gates, put a number up, and try to put some pressure on a team that's knocking on the door, but has had some problems lately, Hills. They've struggled a little bit in the last couple games.
Yes, it certainly wasn't their best form.
And they'll be looking to get in the finals picture. Sturt still haven't clinched either. They can actually still miss if they lose out and then lose on run differential. But they're right on the door, and there's a swing and a miss. So Caitlin Carroll goes down on strikes. A big one from Emily Hopkins there. That's her first strikeout of the game. And that brings up Lauren Jury. With bases loaded, we'll have a pinch runner. Regan Lambert coming in as the courtesy runner, as Megan Williams, the catcher, will go get ready to go.
Megan Wheatley.
Wheatley, sorry.
Right.
Megan Wheatley, not Megan Williams.
So threatening Glenelg, but just unable to do anything with these runners here.
Lauren Jury settles in, bases loaded, big opportunity for a young player.
Yeah, and she's got a very small strike zone, so she needs to take advantage of that. Emily's started well pitching here.
She allowed the hit up the middle, but it was just a little bleeder up the middle, and then that weird bounce off Megan Wheatley. So her 2 hits aren't anything, they're not like she's hit hard, they just sort of found the right spots.
Yep.
Either way, it's bases loaded.
It is. With 2 down, they got to be running.
And this is hit up in the air, and that's foul. And you take a look at the way she pitched Sophie Hoyle. Sophie, she's a dangerous hitter, and you know that she's the one that can hurt you in the lineup. So pitching her carefully and letting Sophie Hoyle get on base isn't the worst case scenario,
no.
as long as you can get the next 2 out.
And if she remains there at first, when this innings is completed, they'll have done their job, Heat. And wasted opportunities it'll be, won't it?
Well, Lauren Jury does a good job of staying alive there, fouling that away.
Is that a full moon up there to our left?
It is. Means something weird could happen tonight. Under the full moon, Lauren Jury watching this down low. Good job laying off that one. Brings up a 1-2 count. But a 10-minute first half of the first inning here. So they're making Emily Hopkins work.
Yeah, but she's looking all right at the moment.
Here's the pitch. Just outside. It was a close one. It's a 2-2 count. So bases loaded, 2-2 count, 2 out. 2-2-2. And a swing and a miss at this one down low. And back-to-back strikeouts from Emily Hopkins gets herself out of a jam and keeps it scoreless heading to the bottom of the first inning.
And prior to that, she walked Sophie Hoyle, so that was a good finish to the innings after looking a bit proppy early for the Heat defense.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well for her today. So we will take a look at how Glenelg will line up defensively. We noted a couple little movements in their at-bat. You want to take us to how they look on the field tonight, Lee?
Certainly. Well, for the Rebels, the battery is Kushla Brewster to Megan Wheatley. First base is Gemma Cochran. Third base, Sophie Hoyle. And the pivots are Lauren Jury at second and Jess Neves at shortstop. And the outfield from left to right, Cara Davies, Caitlin Carroll, Regan Lambert. They have 2 bench sitters, and they are Larissa Burke and Kayla Cook.
And the Hills, on their side of things, they are missing Georgia Hood tonight and missing Alex Mackey as well, which is going to hurt. But there are some pretty dangerous batters in here, especially at that top of that lineup. Amber Hood's going to lead it off. Danny Perez has had a nice little season as well. Emily Hopkins batting third. Pippa Adkins, a rookie this year. Could you imagine at the beginning of the year she'd be sitting in the 4-hole this late in the season in the game that they could clinch the finals? She's had a tremendous year. Steph Stewart batting fifth. Talia LaRosa sixth. Kim Cutting seventh. Kelly O'Brien eighth. And Georgia Ballard ninth. So these are the women tasked with trying to push them just on the brink of the finals.
It's a pretty solid lineup up the top, isn't it, for their hitting? So we'll just see how they go here.
So Amber Hood will lead things off when she comes there. Now the woman on the mound here, Kushla Brewster. What do we know about her?
Kushla, under 19 pitcher from this year, state pitcher. I can't say I've seen her play in too many other positions but pitcher. Comes from up the hills, I think. Some of the games have been good. One game particularly, I saw the, I reckon the All-Star team playing against the under-19 team, and she pitched very well that day here. That's getting it back before Christmas, I think it was, from memory.
Just a little low here. So Amber Hood leading it off, and this is a dangerous hitter, about as dangerous as they come.
Yes, a very aggressive batter and player.
Well, good job there working a strike here to get the count 1-1. Hood can get on base. That opens up a whole world of possibilities here for this Hills Heat side. And that drops in again, 2 strikes. So 2 pretty good pitches from Kushla. Talking about how aggressive Amber is, and she watches 2-1 sitting up high that she just sort of lays off.
I'm telling you what, she won't be going down looking. Not this hitter.
And she swings at that one. That's going to be chopped over towards third. Hoyle, a nice play, and that is dropped, called interference called. She's out, but Gemma Cochran has gone down fairly hard.
And like she's pulled her arm
she's
away.
In a bit of pain. She's in a tremendous amount of pain. Here's the play as they gather around. We'll get the replay with exactly what happened. And this is hit pretty hard down the line. Amber running hard, and that's just a big collision with her arm that was sticking out as Amber was running towards the base. She was called out for interference, but it looks like maybe her left shoulder. Here's another look at it, and I think this camera angle sort of follows Amber down the line, but this is something you never like to see. She's running hard, and that is just an unfortunate collision.
Yes.
Amber running hard for the base. The ball comes to her at first, and they just collide in all the wrong places. That's a tough one to see. She's in a great deal of pain, and we obviously hope. Tough to see. It's a hard throw from Sophie Hoyle. Yeah, it was her catching hand on the left, and she went up to catch the ball, and Amber ran right into her as she lifted her arm, and right away Gemma went down pretty hard. And Amber runs hard.
Yes, she does, but one of those unfortunate incidents nobody likes seeing.
And I don't know if it's the wrist. Is it the shoulder or the wrist? Because she sticks her arm out to make the catch, and you can see her arm go back in a really awkward position when it's coming back, and she's down badly here. Well, yeah, I do have a question, though. I guess in these situations, we've seen a couple injuries this year, whether it be Rachel Tonkin go down as well. But when you have these extended injury times, does it count towards the time of the game in that allotted 90 minutes, or do you put it on pause and it goes on after?
It's we still finished in the 90, as far as I think. It'd be different in the final.
Well, in the final, you need a result as well, too.
Yeah.
I mean, she's in a lot of pain right now. You cannot see any way that Gemma's going to finish this game. I mean, they have two women on the bench, Larissa Burke and Kayla Cook. Someone's going to get moved over to first. And Gemma looking in a bit better spirits at the moment.
Maybe they'll bring Caitlin Carroll into first, where she's played most of the season.
And that's a tough way to start, too. That was the first out of the inning as well.
Yeah.
You know, we barely started this game. And that's a great play by Sophie Hoyle on this play. And I think she's holding her shoulder. It looked awkward on the wrist, but she's now looks like she's holding it a little down. I think it might be her forearm or her wrist, maybe. I've encountered with Gemma a couple times, and she's a tough girl. She's not going down just for the sake of going down. I mean, she's going to be in significant amount of pain, and she'll be helped up by the coaching staff here. Hills athletes concerned as well. Never like to see this. She gets up a little bit gingerly. I think it was one of the ones where it hurts all over the elbow. Yeah,
it looks like elbow, doesn't it? It's probably pulled it out of the joint.
Yeah, it's the elbow.
Hopefully not.
She's in a good deal of pain. Sophie Hoyle over there, one of the leaders on the team, helping her out. The Rebels over, you can see, I don't know if we'll get the shot there, they're playing a little bit of hot potato or something with the softball to keep themselves warm and loose and probably in better spirits out there. So that'd just be something just to loosen them up and stay sort of fresh and not think too much about your teammate that's gone down and just get your mind focused on something else. Or
I mean, both sides will be affected by it.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't like seeing things like that happen.
Oh, and everyone knows each other as well, too, in this competition pretty well. And yeah, it's tough to see. And there's the girls trying to loosen up once again. I think it's her elbow for sure, though, but we'll get a Danny Perez will try to get warm as well. Kushla Brewster, that's a big delay for her. You know, she gets warmed up, she pitches a couple pitches, and now all of a sudden she's cold again.
Yeah, have to start again.
You can see them out there. Quite a young side, this Glenelg side, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And there's Brewster. You see the pitch here as well, and there's Amber Bolton down the line.
Kayla Cook's coming into the game.
Hey, it was an awkward collision. I think we're lucky that Amber didn't get nicked up on that one too, because she took an awkward tumble.
Yes.
So it'll be Kayla Cook entering the ball game, and they'll try to realign themselves. We'll see if there's any defensive rearrangements.
Looks like she's going to go just a straight swap at first base by the look of this. Can't say I've seen Kayla play first base a lot, but here's her chance.
Well, late in the season, a game that doesn't mean too much for Glenelg other than they can play spoiler, which I know these girls would love to do. Is Danny Perez. She's been a gun over at third base, trying to get that bat rolling in time for finals, and they'll give some time for Kushla Brewster to warm up. But we've played 20 minutes, and we've got through 4 outs, and there's no score on the board.
No. We haven't completed 1 innings yet.
Don't think we'll be getting 7 in tonight.
It's a big call, Eric. Big call. Correct call, though, by the way.
Well, Danny Perez settles in, and Kushla Brewster will get back to it. And she throws a ball just outside to start off the inning. So Danny Perez, Emily Hopkins, Pippa Adkins, the next 3 up at the moment. There is 1 down. It was interference called in the awkward play over at first. Danny Perez grounds us over. Sophie Hoyle, fantastic play. Low throw, and that just gets away, and Perez is going to run all the way to second. So she'll reach there on an error. Bit of a low throw, I think, as well, and couldn't quite, Kayla Cook in her first bit of action couldn't come out with it. I mean, she throws it across pretty hard, Sophie Hoyle.
Nice welcome to the game for Kayla.
I know. Well, a runner on second now with 1 out, Emily Hopkins. To the dish. Walks at this one. Tries to lay down the bunt. Is that the call you'd be looking for at this time?
Yeah, possibly. I think Sophie sort of held the throw back then a bit. Probably was fresh in her mind about what happened with Amber running into Gemma, so maybe that brought that throw.
Here's the pitch once again. Hopkins watches that inside for a strike.
That's why I'm thinking the second pitch is the best one to go for in the bunting situation.
She's behind 0-2. We'll see if they try any funny business, trying to get the runner at second. A couple big leads over there for Perez. Foul down the line, a foot right. That was all sorts of trouble. We've seen a couple inside the park home runs that have been hit to that just horrible corner defensively.
That would have been our first run for sure, because Amber is quick. Or even Danny.
She's quick too.
She's quick also. Similar build, aren't they?
Hopkins has had a bit of a hitting transformation coming over to the hills as well. And she hits this hard, right up the middle. Will this score a run? Danny Perez held up at third, so we'll have runners on the corner with one out. Emily Hopkins with a nice piece of hitting right up the middle. And Pippa Adkins, a Rookie of the Year contender for sure, has a chance to put her team ahead.
Certainly. You fancy anybody winning the Rookie of the Year apart from Pippa?
Maybe Haley Benithan?
Yeah, I think it's this is just my own view. I think it's a two-way go.
I mean, the two of them have been pretty consistent. And here's a close play over at third, but Danny Perez just getting back in there. I mean, Pippa Adkins has been one of the most consistent hitters for them. She gets on base. She's played pretty good defense, mostly at first base this year. It's not Gemma Cochran. Haley Benithan, she's been really good though too. She's had to catch occasionally this year. She's played over at first, I believe. She's hit. She's played in outfield, left field, and right field. She's played all over the place, and she's got a decent batting average as well too. And it was a bold move for her to move from Sturt to Walkerville, and that's looking good for both teams. This is hit hard in the air in foul territory. Will it be playable? Yes, it will. A nice catch. They're trying to tag the runner up, and it's just bobbled at home. She's safe. So Regan Lambert made the play. She tried to zip it in there, but sliding in there is Danny Perez, and she's going to score on this sacrifice fly. Runner advances all the way to third, and Emily Hopkins, and we have ourselves a 1-0 ball game.
And the ball just fell out of Megan's glove. Then it's just on the tag, as you see on the replay.
So 1-0. Well, mark it down that at bat however you want. At the end of the day, Pippa Adkins has herself a run batted in. This is hit hard in the air as well, in foul territory. Is it playable? That was just out of the reach of Sophie Hoyle. She was going hard for that one. That's a tough one to play, though.
Well, they've come out swinging, haven't they? The Heat.
Steph Stewart, the new batter.
Known primarily as a pitcher, I think, Steph.
I believe she's pitched a game this year as well, too.
Yeah.
And here's the pitch. And this just gets away, and that should equal another run. Emily Hopkins touches the plate, 2-0.
Yes, you don't want the balls in the dirt when there's a runner at third, do you?
Clears the bases, but it puts a 2-0 lead on the board for Hills. They're at 21 points right now, and behind them is Port Adelaide, who have 17. I'm sure there's a couple girls from Port Adelaide watching tonight, and they're all the way on the Glenelg bandwagon right now.
Yeah, I think Port have to win their last three games.
They do, regardless.
Rain, hail, or shine.
They win their last three, and Hills lose their last three. It's simple. Port's in. But if Hills win tonight, they need to lose out, and the run differential, or the runs allowed, they need to allow 14 less runs, Port Adelaide that is,
okay,
than the Hills in the last three games. In the last four, I guess. So if Glenelg put up a few runs today, if they win, 10-8, then all of a sudden, makes the gap just 6.
Another calculation comes into it. It's been an interesting season, hasn't it?
It has. It did look like it was going down to the final day. All the signs were pointing to that, but teams have sort of separated themselves after Christmas. On the backfield right now, fantastic game, Walkerville versus West Torrens. Neither teams have dropped any points in 2018. In the last 12 games, Walkerville is 10 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. That 1 loss coming to West Torrens. And West Torrens, in the last 13, 10 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws. A big strikeout here. That's going to end the inning, so good for Kushla Brewster to get out of the inning. It's 2 runs, though, put across the board for Hills. But yeah, like we were saying, on the backfield right now, Walkerville, 10-1-1. And in the last 13, and that same since round 6, really, it's been 10-1-3. Or no, 10-1-2, sorry, is a West Torrens. And their only loss came to Glenelg.
That's why both of those teams are sitting up at the top of the ladder, and that's where they'll remain. And
it hasn't even been close between the other teams and those two.
No, it's looking that way, isn't it?
Neither team.
It's been that way for a few games now.
And if they win, they'll be 5 points clear, and West Torrens will still have 2 games to go. They'll be 5 points clear with 2 games remaining, West Torrens. And there'll be 4 games left for Walkerville, and Walkerville will need to hope that West Torrens drop 1 and they win all 4.
Yep.
So really, the winner of this, that game on the backfield, controls their own destiny in winning the minor premiership, which really at this stage is about who gets first and last bat in a collision course in that first final. Well, back in the second inning now, Gemma Cochran is out of the game now, so Kayla Cook has come in.
Well, she's had a quick start, hasn't she? She's got the first play.
And now she has to lead off.
And now she has to start off the batting this innings.
And Kayla Cook has something brewing in the first at-bat for her in this game. And she's going to hit second and turn it all the way to third. And she's going to step in there safely. Welcome to the ball game, Kayla Cook.
A stand-up triple, and what a good shot it was, running over the top of the base, the ball.
Well, we talked about that danger part of the ballpark, and that's exactly where she put it. Sort of a hook shot right around third base all the way into that deep left field corner. And that's a great response to lead off this inning, especially coming from the bottom of the lineup and a player that wasn't even scheduled to start. Brings up Cara Davies and Kushla Brewster, the next 2 to bat, but Cara Davies has a good chance here to drive in a run.
Well, the Rebels need to score this runner, don't they? After a triple, stand-up triple, you owe it to them to score them.
And a pitch drops in. So a 1-1 count, 2-0 game. But Glenelg has something brewing from the chef, Kayla Cook, sorry.
The captain.
The captain, Captain Cook. Swing and a miss on this one. It's a second strike. We saw 2 big strikeouts last inning that Emily Hopkins dialed up, and can she get the third one here with a runner standing on third?
And that's what she'll be looking for, where Cara just needs to get the ball into a gap somewhere for a run.
Drops outside. Good job holding off that one.
Well, you can't discount the endeavour by Captain Cook, can you?
Nope, you certainly can't at all. I like that one. And here's the pitch. Chop foul behind us here. Good job from Cara Davies on a 2-2 count just to stay alive in the at-bat. Look for a pitch she can turn on.
Yes, he's been a great team player for Rebels over plenty of years
and
now.
at different levels as well.
Yeah, she's a reliable player.
Here's the pitch. And a big strikeout there gets Cara Davies looking. That's the 3rd strikeout. All of them have come with a runner standing on third base.
Yes, a bit of consistency there creeping into the game, sir.
Well, pitcher on pitcher, 1 out now. Kushla Brewster up to bat. If she can get on base, it turns it to the top of the lineup where some serious damage could happen. They were the ones that loaded up the bases, and yes, she does!
My goodness.
Kushla Brewster drives home a run. That's a big hit right now from the youngster. And Brewster has made it a 2-1 game.
What a great shot it was from the pitcher.
And it seemed unexpected as well, too, as turning on the first pitch. It was a strike right away. It looked like the whole Hills defense was sort of surprised she went aggressively after that one. Hard shot right up the guts, and it's a 2-1 game.
Now we've got a game on, which is good.
Slices the lead in half and puts gets a runner on. And top of the lineup. So Regan Lambert and Jess Neves can do some danger here.
And I think she's going to go bunt, but she let the first one go, which was a rise any case. So.
And Lambert swings through that one. She's swinging for the fences on that one.
Can hit the ball well, times Regan. That's probably why they're not bunting her, but I'd still go bunt.
Here's a pitch. Watches this down low. She's always brings some pretty good at-bats to the table, Regan Lambert.
Yep.
She's certainly going to make the pitcher work, and that's what she's doing with Emily Hopkins right now. She did that in the first at-bat, too. It's just a great play from Danny Perez that sort of kept her off the base pass.
Regan's got to keep up the family name by watching it closely.
Watches that go by. 3-1 count. Oh, boy, if she can get on base, then we're talking.
I mean, you've got Neves and Hoyle. And Wheatley.
And yes, she does. So she gets on base with a walk. And now we've got runner on first, runner on second. So runner in scoring position for Jess Neves, who's already got that hit up the middle before.
Well, she wants to get greedy here.
Oh,
I
no,
still would play short here.
You'd still say the button. Watch that go right over the plate.
Although, like you said, she got to hit up the middle of the first turn at bat.
And she does have speed regardless.
You'd probably want to get greedy.
You'd think contact should advance the runner regardless here. You'd think. And she swings at that one. That's going up the middle as well, too. Handcuffed over at short. And she made the tag over there. So the lead runner, Kushla Brewster, will be retired. But Jess Neves will go and step on first. So we stay the same. Runners on first and second. The only difference is it's 2 outs. And that brings up Megan Wheatley to the plate. And she swings at that one. That's hit hard. Is it going to find a gap? It drops in. That's a base hit. Will it score a run? Yes, it will. Megan Wheatley has scored a run. Neves trying to push it, and she's going to be tagged out. But Megan Wheatley has tied the game with a big shot to right field. Jess Neves tagged out trying to push one for home, but a big RBI there from Megan. Here's the replay. And she just reached down low, looped that into the outfield, and all the way around from second comes Regan Lambert. And we have ourselves a tie ball game.
It looked like Jess was running blind then to me. I don't know, but just ran in straight into the tag.
Yeah, that was not close.
Still, they've evened the score. Great innings by the Rebels.
Yeah, here's the sequence again. Megan Williams, some good running here. Smiling, she hits that and makes the run to second. I don't know if we'll see the play from Jess Neves here, who was out by about 20 feet. So there we go. We have ourselves a ball game, 2-2. Here's the pitch again. I don't know if this will show the base runners or not, but there's the play hit out to right field. Here's the play at home. And then Jess Neves at this point started to run down there, and there she is, caught way out.
Well, courtesy of Spacequake Sports.
Great replays.
Again, we're getting great replays, and we're going to a lot of people. Up at Mildura, I believe Sophie Hoyle's mother is watching Leanne tonight, so we'll give a shout out to her. Leanne, your daughter's just about ready to crack one over the fence, so hopefully you're watching when it happens, if it happens.
Well, Talia La Rosa will lead things off. 2-2 game. We're engaged in a bit of a dogfight here. 34 minutes into the game. It's a 90-minute time game or 7 innings. We're not going to get 7 innings tonight, I can tell you that. But we're here in the bottom of the second. It's 2-2. We got ourselves a softball game.
Yeah,
the baseball game, I'd be concerned.
Talia La Rosa, excellent player from years ago. Played for West Torrens, seen her hit home run in the grand final, bases loaded.
That's clutch.
Yeah, that's clutch.
and from the Hills area, obviously, and that's why she's up with them.
Yep.
And just reaches out and keeps herself alive, puts it to 2 counts as Megan Wheatley goes and collects that one. Here's the pitch from Brewster. You can see the whole Glenelg defense just talking to Kushla, trying to encourage her on. They've caught a few teams off guard this year, Glenelg. Trying to do that again with Hills. Here's La Rosa. Swings at this one, chops it foul into the area there. Good at bat from Talia.
Yes, experienced players, I've said before, and yeah, I wouldn't expect anything less from Talia. Beautiful sounding name, isn't it? Talia La Rosa.
Talia La Rosa. And La Rosa, again, there you go. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Really worked herself from a tough situation into one that maybe sees her getting on base.
Yeah, Kyle, I just had a look at Kayla Cook. She's probably standing there at first thinking, how easy is this game?
Here's the pitch. And La Rosa hits this hard to center field, and leaping out there is Caitlin Carroll, who makes the catch. Could have been a dangerous one. That was hit hard, but it's going to be just a loud shot to center field, and 1 out that will be put on the scoreboard.
Good turn of bat from Talia then.
At least she hit her hard. Kim Cutting. Kelly O'Brien are the next 2 due up. Another veteran player, Kim Cutting.
Yes, she is. She played early part of the season.
Hits this hard over towards left field, and that's just going to drop in. Takes a funny bounce, Cutting, pushing for 2, and she's going to slide in there just safely. So a good piece of hitting from Kim Cutting puts her on second base with a couple outs in the pocket here for Hills.
Yeah, it was just a little bleeder, wasn't it? But she was quick enough to get to second. As I said before, she was playing mainly at shortstop because Amber was catching early doors, and then she's gone to second base lately.
Kelly O'Brien playing first base today. She takes her first turn at bat in the 2nd inning.
She's playing the dual role as an assistant coach to Mandy Hopkins because Tanya hasn't come up from southeast, Mount Gambier.
And we'll say hello to Tanya, and we'll say hello to Georgia, who I'm sure are anxiously watching to see if Hills can push that magic number down to 1 or tiebreaker scenario in clinching a final spot.
I'm sure they'll be watching glued to the set. It'll be cold down there, Mount Gambier. Not like tonight.
Hit hard and just fouled away. They've done a good job, those Hoods, putting together a team in this first year of existence for the Hills Heat that are going to be challenging for it. And I mean, they at this moment they'll be playing in that 3rd and 4th game if the standings hold. And make no mistake, they can certainly beat anybody on their day.
They can, and they've been very consistent. Well, until the last couple of weeks. But they've been competitive right from day one. Won their first game, I believe, from memory. I forget who it was against. But it might have been against Seacombe, perhaps. But it's a while back now,
and that Hills,
early October.
It'll be Hills Sturt on that first game if things hold on that first weekend. It's 7 p.m. and a couple Saturdays from now. And on St. Patrick's Day, they'll be wearing green, trying to book their spot into the preliminary final.
Well, Saturday is the breast cancer day.
Coming up this weekend, yeah.
This weekend, the 4 o'clock game, so we'll all be, including the commentators, in pink.
Yeah, it's Walkerville and Glenelg for that one.
I have not got any of that pink clothing, so perhaps you could give me 1 or 2 of your shirts or something.
Hit again, foul. This is another good at bat. I mean, Kushla Brewster is having to work her way through this. We'll be showing the 2 p.m. game as well. I believe that's Sturt and West Torrance.
So we got a double header.
That's a great
double header of the
That's a
television.
good day of softball.
Yep.
We get to see 5 of the teams in the competition in a short
Oh,
day.
that's
Now
a
Sophie Hoyle
spinning
leans
ball.
over to this one, throws it to first. This just goes through the glove and they're going to send her around, and she will step in safely. So Kim Cutting touches them all around the base pass, and it is a 3-2 game once again as Kelly O'Brien's going to reach on an error. And that is just what kills you. There was an error that got Danny Perez on board in the first inning, and now Kelly O'Brien gets on board, which forces Kim Cutting to score. I mean, two plays that you make, and you're probably leading this game if you're Glenelg.
Yes.
Here's a pitch for Brewster. This hit into foul territory. Cook leaning over there, but that slips away just past our cameraman over there. You can wave hi. You're on camera over there. There he is. Look at the great job that Spacequake Sports does. The whole team here. Georgia Ballard to the plate here. Young player.
We certainly appreciate Spacequake Sports, don't we?
Depth getting a bit of a test out here for Hills, which is what you need. You need a full roster to win the championship, and this is grounded over towards short. Neves throw over to second, and that's bobbled as well. So Kelly O'Brien will advance to third. She's being held up, and stepping into second safely is Georgia Ballard. So Ballard, who would have reached on a fielder's choice, will step into second on an error, and Kelly O'Brien, on an error, will reach third. So 2 errors in a space of minutes here, turns it to the top of the lineup, and a runner on second and third. Now, Lee, if you could pick anybody on this Hills lineup, pick anyone at all, to have 1 out, runner on second and third in a close ball game, who would you like on this Hills lineup to come
Amber
to play?
Hood.
Yeah, and here she comes right now.
Well, I'm thinking I'm either pitching her carefully or giving an intentional walk here. I'm not letting her bat.
Yeah, and that might be a call here, and you take your chance with Danny Perez, who's been pretty good too. And Amber Hood swings at this one. Oh my goodness. We have 1 run scored, and it's 4-2.
I think I may have mentioned that.
What would you have done, Lee?
Not let her bat.
So Amber Hood has added a bit of distance between them, advances Georgia Ballard over to third, so that's another RBI for Amber Hood. She'll be in consideration for a spot on the Team of the Year, you'd think. She's played a bit of catcher. The Team of the Year is going to be an interesting debate, because at catcher, there's a couple people there. You know, whether it be Belle White, who's put together another tremendous season. She's hurt right now. They're over to just out, so catcher is going to be a tough one to crack.
I've got a feeling there's going to be some new faces in the Team of the Year.
Shortstop, she'd be battling with, who she'd be battling with there? Jordan Lambert has had a spectacular season. She got the least amount of errors out of everybody at short at that position. Megan Williams has had a fantastic year at short.
I think Jordan Lambert sets the benchmark, doesn't she, at shortstop?
But Amber, I mean, she's played all over the diamond, and she's a leader. On the Team of the Year, I don't know. Is there a utility spot?
2 utilities, so 2 pitches. 2 utilities.
You'd think Amber Hood would certainly be in the conversation,
yes,
either a catcher,
certainly.
shortstop, or utility. You'd think she's got to factor in one of those.
She's versatile.
Danny Perez, a good opportunity to extend the lead. 1 out here, and runners on first and third, but 2 outs. So Perez reached on an error in the first inning, and later scored, and she hits this hard over towards left field. Kara Davies has to watch this one, and she gets all the way to the wall. She makes the catch, but that's going to score the runner from third. Georgia Ballard has touched home, and we have a 3-0 game. Danny Perez reached on an error and scored, and she hit that one hard, and that's all she needed to do to score that run.
Yeah, and it was excellent catch taken then by Kara Davies. The wind was blowing it one way, and she was going the other, and executed the catch, but not only that, did a lovely throw into the shortstop. But she couldn't do much about stopping the run.
2 outs and a runner on second. Amber Hood will be, I imagine she's been subbed out for the courtesy runner here, and she puts this back, and look out, Lee, this is coming right to you. This bounces right towards us in the grandstand, and we'll take a bit of a wave there.
Yeah, come on, Emily, we're on your side.
It's a present for the spectators, but thank you, Emily Hopkins, trying to take us out. She's got a single, got an RBI. Emily Hopkins has had a good one so far, and she's pitched all right on the mound as well, and she swings at that one pretty hard. She hits it hard, doesn't she?
Yeah, good pitch that was, jammed her up then.
was one of those players from Seacombe last year, originates in the Hills and then moved to the club, which she sort of always knew would happen if Hills were ever to get a team in this competition. She's much improved her approach on the mound, or at the plate as well, compared to last year.
Yes, certainly.
And what a valuable player Emily Hopkins has been. Sort of that second pitcher in the lineup, and this is throw over to third, and she's going to be gone. Very nice throw, Megan Wheatley to Sophie Hoyle, and Amber Hood gets caught stealing. She's aggressive, like you said, and she got run out that time.
Yeah, good throw from Megan, but the damage was done.
3 runs.
3 runs.
And off 2 errors as well, so unfortunate for Glenelg, who worked their way right back in this ball game and worked through 2 innings, and it's 5-2. We played 2 innings in 45 minutes.
Yes, well, we know what took up most of the time.
Yeah, Gemma Cochran, we don't have any updates on her, but Amber Hood collided with her awkwardly, both of the women, and unfortunately it was Gemma Cochran that took the brunt of it all. I think this is the at-bat right here is Amber Hood raced down the line. If you missed it earlier, and I think Amber was lucky not to come away with an injury there too.
Yes, could have been a double whammy then.
But it looked like the elbow. Amber comes up okay, and she had a big RBI earlier, and that would be a devastating loss to this Hills team if they lost Amber.
Certainly would.
Well, Sophie Hoyle, Caitlin Carroll, and Lauren Jury will come up there. Hoyle had a walk, Carroll struck out, Jury struck out. They can get on base. Kayla Cook, who crushed one earlier, will go there. But Sophie Hoyle comes to the plate, and can she lead off with a bit of magic for Glenelg to get themselves back in the ballgame?
Well, now would be the good time, wouldn't it?
So the run differential right now is 12 between runs allowed. So Port Adelaide have allowed 12 more runs than Hills. Hills didn't help themselves when they allowed, 11, 13 runs or something like that against Sturt a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, 14, I think.
14, it was 14-3, you're right. And that really put Port back in the conversation where it was, it would have been 28 runs or so before. And Sophie Hoyle hits this hard down the line, and what a catch in left field by Talia LaRosa. LaRosa will like that, and that is the first batter down and the most dangerous woman in this lineup.
No substitute for skill.
That was a nice catch. Here's the hit. Sophie Hoyle turned on that, and look at that. Reaching out in front of her.
Great catch, isn't it?
Really is. How do you track those that well out there?
Oh, I think just experience and confidence. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Caitlin Carroll struck out. She had bases loaded. That's really going back. Big key moment in this game. Right off the bat, Glenelg raced out of the gates. They had bases loaded. Emily Hopkins put herself in a bit of a sticky situation, and she comes up with a strikeout of Caitlin Carroll and Lauren Jury to get herself out of trouble. And that is one of the big reasons a base hit, and this game could be tied right now.
Yeah, she's just hit above the ball there by
small things making big differences for this Glenelg side, and it's been sort of that all year, hasn't it? Caitlin Carroll up to bat. Here's the pitch. Outside.
the battery then of Hopkins and Hood. You could see something funny in that.
And this one drops there, so full count. They've made Emily Hopkins battle. But Hopkins has turned it up with three strikeouts tonight. Make it 4. So Emily Hopkins, 4 strikeouts in 3 innings. Gotta be happy with that.
That was a good pitch then. Full count. She threw a low one and committed Caitlin into it.
Lauren Jury to the plate. She struck out in her first at-bat. She struck out in another big moment.
Yeah, it was a very low pitch too, so I think she's better than that.
Chop foul, so she's behind 0-2.
Been impressive to me, especially defensively. Lauren Jury tries really hard. Runs hard at the ball at second base. I've seen her do some really good work. But
here's the pitch. Hits this hard. This could find some green. And that is a nice catch again from Steph Stewart. Those are a couple tough catches that in this inning that had to be made. One by La Rosa out in left field, and Steph Stewart stepping up with another big one there, making a nice grab to end the inning. So head to the bottom of the third, and it's 5-2 with about 40 minutes to play in this one.
Yeah, it looked like it was just going to clear her for a moment, but it didn't.
Don't know if we have an update from the backfield. Haven't got one in a little bit.
I haven't got one.
So it is, we turn to the bottom of the third. Pippa Adkins will lead things off, I believe, here in the third inning. And a good chance to add a bit of an exclamation point and get some more daylight between them.
Yeah, well, the margin's 3 at the moment. Another one here makes it very, very difficult.
Well, Kuchler-Brewster has actually pitched all right this game. She just really hasn't been helped by those errors. I mean, there's 3 errors so far. All of them have led to runs.
A couple of them could have been taken, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Just throw a different complexion over the game and a different scoreline. And because Emily was left in the batting box when the pickoff was done with the third out in the previous innings, she bats first in this innings.
Oh, yep, you're absolutely right. She was caught stealing, you're right. So Emily Hopkins will lead it off, won't she? It's not a bad person to lead off. Hopkins, Adkins, and Steph Stewart, who took that nice catch to end it. So, yeah, because Amber was caught stealing, here's Emily Hopkins.
She's having a good night, Emily, tonight.
Oh, fantastic to see. Such a useful player for this club, and one of the, probably the, you rate some moves that were made, and I know everything was a move for Hills Heat, but this was one of the big transfers that has made a big difference.
Certainly was.
Here's a big hit to left field. She's got another one. 2 for 2 on the day. And she steps up with a hit to left field, so Emily Hopkins gives Pippa Adkins something to work with.
So a great start again for the Hills here.
In terms of players, is there a most improved award?
No, it's used. No, we don't have a most improved. We have the MVP, and we have the junior.
And the junior.
Softball of the year.
A lot of clubs, associations do a sort of a most improved. I know the NBA loves that in their basketball league. They have that most improved player, but someone was there in the league here before and has really stepped up. Certainly in that conversation, looking at the year, Emily Hopkins would have to be in that conversation. Megan Williams, her bat has come alive this season.
Yeah, to add to her fielding, which has always been top notch.
I mean, Megan Williams, I mean, she's fighting it out with Jordan Lambert for a spot on that team. That's a Team Australia player she's got to battle, and that's unfortunate for her because she doesn't make the team, and she might make the team in one of the utility spots. That's not indicative of, how she's been playing.
No.
Pippa Adkins. Rookie of the Year candidate for sure. Wasn't she at Sturt last year, was it? Or was she
Sturt,
before? Yeah, Sturt. She drops this down, and this is bobbled by Sophie Hoyle. That was always a very tough play, though, to make.
She was in quick, Sophie, wasn't she? She knew what was coming, but unable to pick the...
Adkins was just a foot away from the base, it looked like. She flew down the base path.
She did. Now it's Steph Stewart, who...
Just down the door. Here's the pitch, down low. Goes in Steph Stewart, busted open.
Rebels need to be tight here. Tell you what, right field's a long way back here.
Yeah, it is. Here's a pitch.
That's Regan. She's quick on her feet, being a Lambert. They can all run, including their mother.
Just outside, brings the count to 2 or 3. down, tossed to first. Oh, she would have been safe anyways. The throw, she was safe, and then the ball came in, and it was just behind. So the throw, certainly a throwing error, but infield hit there, and a good job just in an awkward spot to knock that down. But Steph Stewart on board with a hit. Good for her. Talia La Rosa here. James Harris comes by. We might try to bump him in shortly for a bit of an update. I'm assuming if we get a nod from James, the game's over on the backfield. And we haven't heard much since it was 2-0 in the second inning. And it is not even 90 minutes. So we have a final score back there, Lee. Sounds like a great game because it was a close one, but West Torrens have won. They have stay undefeated in 2018. It is a 5-3 score for West Torrens, who take the win. They put up 5 on Gabby Snyder pitching. Gabby Snyder was not pitching. They put 5 up on Sally, so they did not pitch Gabby Snyder, trying to hold some of the cards there.
How am I surprised not?
So that puts them 5 points clear. They've got 2 games to go. They still need to win those 2 to clinch the minor premiership, or have a win and a loss. As this is hit hard, Brewster again for the second straight play, knocks one down. Neves over to second, got her at second, but another run scores.
That's a great recovery then on the ball knocked down by Kushler, by Jess Neves. She was horizontal, picked it up.
They're hitting it right hard at her.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, that's good. You see the footwork there from Neves, throw to first, gets her. A run does score though. So it makes it 7-2, but 4 of those runs have come off errors, and Glenelg left bases loaded when they had one out. They had all the opportunities in this one. This is hit hard. Hoyle throw to second, and base on the fielder's choice. Brings up Kelly O'Brien. So Hills up 7-2 on the verge of basically securing their spot. But yeah, the top of the table is still interesting because Walkerville, if they win their last 4 games, it would force West Torrens to win their last 2. So it's still not in the books for West Torrens, but it certainly makes it hard for a team that hasn't lost. And, they're playing each other in the first round.
It's going to be 1 versus 2, obviously, and either way, that would have been an interesting game.
So Kelly O'Brien, she reached on an error earlier in this one. Here's the pitch. Drops in for a strike. So we'll anxiously await to hear the report from James Harris coming up in the bottom of the 4th inning. If you're watching, stay tuned for that one. All you Hoyles and Hoods watching from around the we're in the bottom of the 3rd, aren't we?
Yeah,
it's the bottom of the 3rd inning.
I thought you'd get there eventually.
I'm stumbling around. Bottom of the 3rd inning. We're not done 3 innings yet. Of course,
we've only played an hour.
We've only played an hour and we're not done 3, but a big reason for that is a very scary incident early in that first game. Amber Hood running 15 minutes.
It was sickening, wasn't it?
Yeah,
really?
She was in bad shape. Hit hard, though, over to short. Neves picks this up, throw across the diamond, and ends the inning. So the sides were tired, but another across the board, so it's 7-2. So James Harris will join us here. He's our field for this. He's going to hold some cards closer to their chest by not.
Picard was caught really well for West Torrens, so that was good for them. And then Carly came in for a pinch hit later in the game, and
but she didn't start.
She got a walk. No, she got a walk, and then that was it. Like she ran the bases on a Jordan Lambert double, scored, and then came out of the game. So it was great hitting from both teams. I mean, good contact. Both clubs had their opportunities to score, and just West Torrens took full advantage of their chances. And late in the game, they just went back to back hits. Walkerville to get back in the game, and they scored a couple of runs, but they look so strong, both teams, and it's going to be a clash with the Titans come finals in a couple of weeks' time when they meet each other.
Kayla Cook hits this hard again. It goes to center field. Pippa Adkins makes the play. Kayla Cook had that monster triple earlier in the game, filling in for Gemma Cochran. That's the first out. It'll bring up Kara Davies. But really, top to bottom, West Torrens probably has the best lineup in the league, going 1 to 9. the big question entering the season was they were going with this just a second-year pitcher and someone in her first year sharing the entire pitching load in Maddie Scott, a young 17-year-old pitcher who has just been so impressive. Big thing for her is her control. How is she with the walks tonight?
Not bad. A couple of walks, but no real damage. A couple of wild pitches that the runners were able to advance. But I mean, she's just matured so much this year. I mean, not bad for someone who's a shortstop. She's a pretty good pitcher. So just a young head, but she's just so mature on the diamond now. Like, it's just a notable difference from last year, where she shared the duties with Courtney May. This year she's just shouldering the load herself and able to do the job. I mean, she's just got such a strong defense behind her, and then the offense that West Torrens adds as well just would give her so much confidence going out onto the diamond. I can give up a run or two this inning, and I still know that I'm in with a chance.
We've been talking today about in this broadcast about players who have made big improvements and therefore big differences on their clubs this year. Maddie Scott, she's a young player. You sort of expect her to improve, but her leap has been significant, and that's been a big part for West Torrens. Here, Emily Hopkins on the mound. She's had a very important year for the Hills, whether it be pitching or whether it be hitting as well. And Megan Williams over at Port Adelaide. There's a few women around this competition that have really taken that leap forward.
Yeah, Emily wasn't too bad last year in the A grade, but this year, batting 350, upwards of that. And now pitching, backup pitcher for Georgia. I'm sure she's watching back home.
This hit hard over to right field, and Georgia Ballard showing she made the catch, and she did.
Great catch from Georgia Ballard, under 15 blue team captain or co-captain. So just one of our young stars of the competition, just breaking through into the A grade from the Hills, from Cooman Duke. We've spoken about the Ballards before. Obviously, Abby not in the lineup tonight. Wonder where she is. Hello, Abby, if you're watching.
She is hit. She's been on base and scored today, and she's made a nice couple plays in right field for the youngster in Georgia Ballard, which is great to see as well. Emily Hopkins has a pretty solid defense behind her. Rebels have sort of struggled a little bit in this game. Kushla Brewster, she's got a base hit in this game. She's actually hit all right today. I think she's only got 2 earned runs. And here comes the ambulance, and I think this is hit hard down the line. Kushla Brewster, have yourself a game. She's doing all right, pitching tonight, and she's got 2 hits. And we have seen an ambulance pull in here. I believe, I'm going to guess it's for Gemma Cochran.
Yeah, I got to admit, I caught a couple of minutes of the broadcast from the backfield when I saw that there was a couple of huddles around and saw that there was a big clash. Hopefully she's okay.
Regan Lambert back at the top of the order. She reached on a walk. She had a play that was sort of foiled by a great play over at third base by Danny Perez with a nice play there. So she's been on base once, Regan Lambert, and she scored one of the 2 runs for Glenelg. And she's had 2 very patient at-bats in this game so far, and she is working the count once again. You sort of expect that from Regan at the top of the lineup. But she scored, and Jess Neves will follow her up if they can keep this inning going.
Regan has worked on a hitting non-stop for 8 or 9 months, since before the season started. Pitch selection was one thing that she wanted to get right. I think she's got that down. She's got one of the best eyes in the competition amongst the league leaders in walks.
And here's another hit high in the air, and moving under that is Talia La Rosa. She just got a little under that. She's made good contact twice, and she's got on base. I don't think there's anything wrong with her at bats, but sometimes they just don't fall where you want them to fall, do they?
No, unfortunately not. Talia La Rosa, it is, Eric, a fantastic player and former player of the finals, over 100-odd games for West Torrens Softball Club. Played in the Netherlands for a season as well, and just one of the champions of the competition in the Hills. Saw her hit one hard earlier in the game.
Earlier she made actually an amazing catch running back to the track, losing it in the wind a little bit. And Talia La Rosa's had a great game. Anyways, James, thank you very much for the updates back there. It sounds like a thrilling contest, and we've got lots more to come. You'll hear James in a broadcast of the 2 p.m. clash coming up this weekend, and that game's going to be a great one as well. Sturt and West Torrens playing. Sturt trying to book their spot in the finals. West Torrens as well, seeing if they can keep their perfect record alive in 2018.
Yeah, breast cancer awareness round. So the whole Adelaide competition are doing some fundraising for breast cancer awareness, and we'll see the feature game at 4 o'clock as well between Glenelg and Walkerville. So thanks to Spacequake for that double header. I'll hand you back to Lee now, and good luck for the rest of the game.
Well, welcome back to the broadcast, Lee, and thank you very much, James, for the update on the backfield. Kelsey Nucky was going to join us, but she was a late cancellation with other media appearances she's making on the backfield. We'll be hearing from Kelsey on the stream one of these days very shortly. But Lee, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you, Eric, and very interesting, wasn't it, about the game there? Gabby not pitching, no surprise to me.
We were wondering if Maddie Scott would be pitching, or would they show Courtney May as well? I mean, sort of a bit of gamesmanship this time of year of two teams that are sort of secure at the top two spots.
Nothing hinging on it. Hinging on it.
What a transformation from West Torrens last year, from missing out on the finals to now having 5 points clear between them and the top. They're 11-1-2 in their last 14 games. They haven't lost in 2018. Who would have predicted West Torrens winning? They're on the verge of it, but who would have predicted West Torrens possibly winning a minor premiership, Eric?
No, I don't think. You coughing? You're right there.
Yeah, Eric predicted.
Perhaps that ambulance has come for you, sir.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Lee. And this is hit hard right over to Jess Neves. Throw across to first. She's a little off the bag, and she's safe.
No tag called umpire Wallace Yarrow then. Kayla Cook was off the base but tried to tag her, but Amber was past her.
Yeah, Amber Hood, she was rocketing down there. We'll see the play right here. If she would have been safe regardless, it's tough to tell as she was off the bag. She would have been out by a mile, but the throw was just a little bit off. But Amber Hood going to get on base on an error. So those errors are really starting to hurt.
Well, Kushla Brewster, 2 times at bat, 2 ripping shots to left field.
And she's only
on
had,
the ground.
I'm looking at, I think it's just 2 earned runs because there's been 4 errors in this game and just a couple earned runs. Kushla's been fine today. They're just defense letting her down a little bit, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's she had a couple that's gone off her glove and haven't gone to a player, which sometimes it does, other times it doesn't. Tonight it didn't.
Danny Perez has been on base as well. She reached on an error, and then she had that big hit to right field. It was a nice play, just in general. So we'll see how Perez goes here. She's had a nice game defensively as well. We are here in the bottom of the 4th inning, so we should have one more inning after this one. We're at the 71-minute mark. It's 7-2. Here's the pitch. This is going to lay down the bunt. It's foul. 7-2, there's a runner on. I don't think we're quite in danger of it, but the Mercy, want to take us through Mercy rule scenarios. When there's a run of 5, we do have to just keep an eye on it.
Just keep an eye on it, I think.
Just keep an eye on it. But yeah, Mercy rules are what for our viewers at home?
Well, it's 7 after 5, isn't it? Is that what you're saying?
It's 5 after 5, isn't it? 7 after 4?
No, 7
after 5.
Yeah.
I think they need 5 runs in this inning to end it.
It's probably 10 after 4, I think.
Either way, strikeout. Kushla Brewster has her third one of the day.
We haven't come across that too much this season, which is fortunate.
Yeah, great. I mean, there's been early in the season there was a couple lopsided games, and Hills were
initially
on the
first
giving
3 or
end of a
4
couple
weeks,
of them.
That's right. But since then, it's been some terrific games.
Emily Hopkins, she's 2 for 2 today. She hits this hard to center field. Caitlin Carroll leaps and makes that catch. Emily Hopkins having another great game.
The pace of Carroll out there is a big plus, isn't it?
Pippa
she can really run.
Pippa
Same
Atkins
with Pippa.
to the plate.
Yeah.
Handy lefty to have. She's reached once already on a hit. Scored as well. Here's the pitch again. So we're looking at about, two outs right now and a runner on.
A scoreless inning is what the Rebels are looking for here because it'll be their first.
Here's the pitch. Drops down low. Pippa hits this hard up the middle, and that just gets by. It was a very tough place. Jess Neves gave it her all. It slides through, so that's going to advance the runner over to second, and Pippa Adkins hit number 2 tonight. You know, those little, we're going to be looking for our rookie of the year team determination. The people are going to be looking here at when it might come down to those little numbers at the end of the year. Adkins has an RBI. She had the sac fly. She scored on a hit, and she's got a second one tonight too. So those little things add up.
They certainly do, and it's Steph Stewart now.
Steph Stewart reached on or had a hit as well earlier, and then was called out on a fielder's choice.
Well, she's been playing at shortstop tonight, and it's the first time I think I've seen her play there. Or normally a pitcher.
Well, Glenelg are going to get another turn to bat, so 5 runs is possible, but it gets hard when it gets more than that. And this slips away, so that's going to put a runner on second and third. We got a courtesy runner right now. As Amber Hood pops out. I believe it's Emily Hopkins. Couldn't quite tell.
Yep.
So runner on second and third, 2 runners in scoring position, but 2 outs for Steph Stewart, trying to put a nail in the coffin in this one. Here's the pitch, and that's a good pitch just inside. It's 2-1 count. And Stewart hits this hard. That's going to drop in for a base hit. 1 run scores. Hustling hard to home is Pippa Adkins, who scores for the 2nd time tonight. And it is a 9-2 game. Steph Stewart has been excellent in the infield tonight. And that was the big hit they needed to really just say good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Very good, Eric.
So 9-2 game. Unfortunately, 7 runs again possible.
Just
but
couldn't get it scoreless.
That's going to be
Couldn't
hard.
get a scoreless innings.
No.
Could they, the Rebels? Unfortunately.
And the Hills just kept swinging and swinging and coming at him, and a few errors really didn't help the young pitcher, Kushla Brewster, much at all. And it's 9-2. This hit hard at the middle as well. Neves toss over to second, gets the force out of Steph Stewart. And that will end the inning on a fielder's choice there. So we will head to I want to say we're going to the 5th inning. And it's a 9-2 game. We'll get 1 more inning of play in. And that will be that. There certainly won't be a new inning after this. So Amber Hood comes back out there to catch. You can see the field here, lights on at the baseball diamond as well. A grand final played of the Junior League there. So Hills up 9-2. A win here. It would take a disaster of something fierce right now for the Hills to miss out on the finals.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, a win tonight from the Hills eliminates the Seacombe Tigers from the competition. Puts 5 teams left in the running for it, and Port Adelaide are going to need a country miracle.
They've only got 3 games left, the Magpies, and
they need to win them all.
They need to win them all.
And they need Hills to lose them all, and they need to have 14 or 12, I guess now. It needs to be 12 less runs allowed. Jess Neves leading this off, 9-2 game. Can they get something brewing? This is the part of the lineup you want. Neves, Wheatley, and Hoyle.
Couple of runs here. That's what we want.
And Neves hits this hard. This gets all the way through. And say yes to the Jess. And Jess Neves has herself a base hit to lead off the inning.
You're getting very clever all of a sudden. Must be the company you're keeping.
All of a sudden, Lee.
It's the company you're keeping, I think.
I think I must be. Megan Wheatley. Being on base twice today.
Yes, 2 for 2, batting 1,000. She want to go another one there, and Hoyle will be time for her to put it over the top let her mother know, let her mother watch it in
Last time
Mildura.
Megan was up to bat, though, there was that awkward base running, and she hits this out to right field. She's going 3 for 3. And Jess Neves pushing all the way to third. Megan Wheatley having herself a game. Lights, camera, Wheatley. She comes through in the clutch. 3 for 3. What a night for her here on Spacequake Sports.
Yeah, it was certainly sweetly from Wheatley then.
Oh, swinging it sweetly, Megan Wheatley. Well, Sophie Hoyle, she's 0 for 1 on the day. She was on with a walk.
This is the time for it to go over the top.
Hey, and you know what? This would put her back in the ballgame.
No, they're just going to pitch her carefully or
You reckon?
give her the intentional walk here.
We put Caitlin Carroll up with bases loaded for the second time of the game, if that is the case. And that goes down low. Yeah, it's not even like she's trying to hit the strike zone. You're shaking your head a little bit, Lee.
Not hard to pick, was it?
Nope. Here's the pitch again. Oh, no, just way outside. This one will be low, you're saying?
Low. Well, we've had high, low, high, low. Sounds like a song.
High, low. Now we're singing on the broadcast. Here we go, though. Will it be high? Will it be low? But you're calling it out, and she's going to put it in the wheelhouse, and Sophie Hoyle is going to drive in a run. Wheatley pushing for third, and she's going to get in there easily, pushing for second. She's safe.
While this is happening, I'd be sending that runner here.
So we're calling. We were calling for something that never happened. We were thinking it was going to be low, caught us by surprise, and all of a sudden, it is a 9-3 game, and Sophie Hoyle has herself an RBI. And that is why you pitch around Sophie Hoyle.
I would have thought so.
Sophie gets to second. Caitlin Carroll with runners on second and third and nobody out. It's 9-3. A base hit here, and all of a sudden, it's in the conversation.
Caitlin hasn't looked like putting bat on ball yet. This would be a good time to redeem that.
2 strikeouts. She's 0 for 2. Just outside 1-1. Good eye from Caitlin Carroll. And this is hit up the middle. Caitlin Carroll drives in one, and called back is Sophie Hoyle, so an RBI from Caitlin Carroll.
Good time, wasn't it?
You called that one as well, too.
Well,
you have a knack for that. So 4 straight hits to open up this inning.
And a terrific bit of fielding out there by Talia LaRosa. Just skirted around, prevented Hoyle from scoring also.
So runners on the corner, Lauren Jury, she's 0 for 2 to the plate. She got runner on first, a runner on third, and it's a 9-4 game, and we talked about 5 being possible. Look, there's got a lot to work with here.
Certainly have.
They need a couple more hits. And if you're looking for any sort of hope, if you're a Port Adelaide supporter, if Hills hold on here, all of a sudden it's 10 the difference between runs allowed. So again, it does take Hills to lose them all and Port Adelaide to win them all, and a lot has to happen there, but you just never know, do you? This is hit hard. Is this going to get through? It's played over by Steph Stewart. Throw over to first. They get 1, so they score 1 run. No, she's safe at first.
Safe at first.
She's safe at first.
Just outrun the throw.
Just outran the throw. I thought she was out there. They score another run. We got runners on the corners and make it 5 straight hits to open up the inning from Glenelg. There's a runner on second and third, and it's a 4-run game.
And people who haven't looked like batting, like
Caitlin Carroll, Lauren Jury.
Lauren Jury, Caitlin Carroll, have come to the party right at the last minute.
So Kayla Cook, who's looked like she's been batting all day, she had the triple, and then she had a hard shot to center field. She's made great contact both times. She can clear the bases here with runners on first and third. It gets interesting.
Real interesting.
We've seen some crazy comebacks this season.
We certainly have.
The biggest one we saw was when West Torrens were up 5-0 in the last and they drew 5-5. That's the funny thing about West Torrens is they've gone 11-1-2 in that, and in that time they've lost to bottom side Glenelg, and they had a 5-run lead going into the last inning, and they blew it.
Bit of inconsistency there, you think?
Yeah, but they've been pretty consistent in the new year.
Of course they have.
Well, you gotta find some dirt to dig up on West Torrens if they're going so well.
Change the pitcher. Thank you.
So, yeah, a new pitcher.
It's Talia La Rosa.
Talia La Rosa, okay. She's had a very nice game so far, and this would be the icing on the cake, you would think.
Been very safe out at left field tonight.
But 5 straight hits to start off this inning like I would have never expected that.
It's actually
good for Glenelg.
It's actually Steph Stewart.
Oh, it's Steph Stewart pitching.
Yeah.
There you go, Steph Stewart pitching. So where does Emily Hopkins go? Steph Stewart's had a nice game as well too, actually.
Has.
So just to recap here, it was 9-2. Now how big is that hit looking though from Pippa Adkins as well, and bringing some people around, and Steph Stewart, how big does that one look where she had the 2 RBI double, but Jess Neves, Megan Wheatley, Sophie Hoyle, Caitlin Carroll, Lauren Jury stringing together a string of singles, really.
There's a few changes there. Looks like Emily's going out the left field. Kim Cutting's going from second to shortstop, and Talia La Rosa is going to second base. That's the changes. So
lots of them.
Yeah, lots of them. It's 4-6.
What do we know about Steph Stewart as a pitcher?
1
She's
to
sort of the
7.
third one on the list this season. She started a couple games, I know. Caitlin Cook, though, she came in place of Gemma Cochran, who went out with that elbow injury and taken away by ambulance
And she
moments ago.
hasn't looked back with the bat, has she, Kayla? So different
good.
pitcher.
She's got the triple and that hard hit. Steph Stewart now going to tie her shoe.
And she says sorry then. Must run in the family, those manners, you think?
Here's the hit, and again, hard hit, but over on third, throw across the diamond, and that just slips away. So an error on their own
Scores
behalf,
Caitlin
and
Carroll.
that's going to score. Yeah, Caitlin Carroll scored. So this time it's an error, and that's going to put Lauren Jury over to third base. Caitlin Cook reaches on an error, and with no outs coming into this inning, did you think you'd say this sentence? With no outs, the tying run is coming to the plate.
No.
Cara
In a
Davies.
word.
The tie, and she hits this hard, and a nice play. Perez will throw it over to first, and they avoid the double up. So it's good. What a play by Danny Perez.
Pity
So, one
was
out.
on the first pitch too, wasn't it?
Well, here's someone that's been 2 for 2. Kushla Brewster. Now would be a great time for a base hit to put this a 1-run game.
She's batting 1,000. 2 great shots to left field.
Well,
Can she get a third?
this game is sort of indicative of the Hills season. If you think about it, you know, they get off to a really fast start, come up with a big lead, and they're just finding a way to make it interesting right towards the end of it.
Certainly are.
And this is hit hard, and that gets through. Brewster's 3 for 3. That scores another run, and the tying run is on base.
Lauren Jury scores.
Lauren Jury scores. Kayla Cook goes to second. There's 1 out, and Regan Lambert will come to the plate, and she represents the go-ahead run. It is a 9-7 game. The run differential, or the runs allowed difference between Port Adelaide and Hills is now just 7. So you'd think that if Port Adelaide win their last 3 and Hills lose their last 3, Port Adelaide would probably get in. That's a small margin.
So. Well,
and Regan Lambert swings at that one. She's behind 0-2. Regan Lambert, this will be a big time for a big hit. 9-7.
well, it was a huge swing then, wasn't it?
5 runs
Just
in
needs
the
to back
last
off.
inning here.
Just needs to back off a bit and just make good contact here.
And we are approaching that 90-minute mark. And she swings at this one.
Yeah.
This one slips through. That is going to load up the bases The go-ahead run is aboard, and Jess Neves, who is 2 for 2 on the game, with Megan Wheatley, who's 3 for 3, and Sophie Hoyle, who has got an RBI in this inning already, comes to plate.
Different sort of swing by Regan that time, just took a bit of the weight off her arms, hands, and just punched the ball up the middle.
Jess Neves led it off with a single, and they haven't looked back, and she swings at this one. Chopped over to Perez, throw over to first, and they make the out, but they score a run. So she advances the runners. Kayla Cook scores. Kushla Brewster to second, or to third rather, and Regan Lambert goes to second. It's going to be an RBI, but a ground out. 5-3 for Jess Neves. Now Megan Wheatley, she's 3 for 3. It's 9-8. She's got a runner on second and third. If she's out, this ball game is effectively over, but a base hit makes it very interesting. Here's the hit, and she hits this hard. This is going over towards left field. Is it caught? And a diving catch! And Pippa Atkins ends it for the Hills. They make it interesting, but Hills go up big and hold on for dear life, and it's highlighted by an unbelievable game-saving catch in center field from Pippa Atkins. Oh my goodness, what a diving play. That's the ball game. And the Hills could be alive with the sound of finals. They are just
Do you want me to
knocking on the door. Unbelievable finish. It was 9-2. They stringed together 5 straight hits to start the inning. They put up 6, and Megan Williams, robbery.
Daylight robbery.
What do you make of that one, Lee?
Oh, it was fantastic. Fantastic batting by Wheatley. It took a magnificent catch from Pippa, and we know what she's capable of.
Oh,
Pippa.
my goodness.
It was a great one. Look on the replay. Look at that.
That is, I mean, if that gets by, that scores 2 runs, and Hills are down.
Yep.
Pippa Atkins just made a highlight reel catch. I know Spacequake Sports loves to do their top 10 countdowns. If I don't see that in the top 10, I would be very surprised if that one's not in the top 3 or 4. That just
has to be.
Might have booked their ticket to the finals.
It was a fantastic catch to end a interesting finish to the game.
Well, Lee, we thank
6 big runs.
We thank you for joining us tonight. West Torrens win on the back as well. Hills knocking on the door of the finals. Either a win or a run differential is going to get them in, or a Port Adelaide loss. It's very, very close. We'll see how the tiebreakers shape up. But for everybody at Spacequake Sports, on behalf of Lee Holt, Lee, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the weekend for a doubleheader.